Hello, and welcome to From This Corner. Oops, I mean welcome to the Rockin' Horror Variety Show. I am Chris Annino. I am the host, and I am the producer of this wonderful monstrosity we got going for us. I have someone on line one, and yes, we got line one instead of line two. And her name is Ronnie Nicole. She is a women's world wrestling champion. And Ronnie, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. How are you doing?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I am doing excellent. Greetings all the way from North Carolina. I hope everyone is doing wonderful up around your way.
Oh, she's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. And Ronnie, let's talk about your roots real quick. How did you start becoming a pro wrestler? Who inspired you? I'm hearing different stories that possibly King Kong or some person named Kong inspired you. Who was that?
Well, it actually was Awesome Kong, but, I guess if she's in the ring with somebody little, it would be a King Kong situation then. But actually, Awesome Kong and Aja Kong really inspired me to full out pursue it. I originally started in Fayetteville, North Carolina at Ringworth, Carolina. Big shout out to Night Stick Eddie Brown and Tony Hang Time James. Unfortunately, I was unable to continue my training there, so it took maybe about a 6-month break, but at that point, I had already caught the wrestling bug. So I was lucky enough to link up with a male model who also was a wrestler, who I didn't realize wrestled, even though we had done some modeling work together. And he was like, listen, I train here with CW's The Enforcer, C.W. Anderson, because of the training school. Why don't you transfer over here and continue your training? And so luckily for me, I was accepted at the Fracture Factory and got the honor and privilege to train a bit with C.W. Anderson, as well as CW's Chili Willie, and former NWA national champion, world's most interesting wrestler, Lou Marconi. So between my training down in Fayetteville and those three wonderful, extremely knowledgeable and renowned old school guys, I got very solid foundation for wrestling, and it just enhanced my passion, and I haven't looked back, and I haven't stopped ever since.
And that you did. And word around the pro wrestling world is that you are taking the competition and destroying it. And that is so because I've been seeing it. And I got to say something. When you get into that ring, I got to ask you one thing. Because I interviewed Stan Lee a couple weeks ago. And I said, you got to see this woman. She's amazing. She's kind of like, dare I say it, the She-Hulk. When did She-Hulkamania start? You have to tell me, Ronnie. When did She-Hulkamania start?
Well, many, many, many blessings, Mr. Stanley. And I hope that he doesn't take my using of the She-Hulk.
He won't sue you. Don't worry. He won't sue you. You're too beautiful to sue. He's not going to sue you. I promise you that. But no, really, in all honesty, when did She-Hulkamania start? Because you're tearing it up right now.
It started maybe, I want to say, about a year after I had been wrestling actively. I trained for a full year before I actually had my first match. And then during that next year was more of me finding who I was as a wrestler and what characters I wanted to be. These days wrestling isn't as character-driven as it used to be. You don't see the Ultimate Warriors. You don't see the Undertakers. You don't see Max Moons. You don't see these people with these over-the-top personas really anymore. And so I was thinking to myself, what's going to set me apart, but what also is true to me? And being a lover of comics and comic books, I came across She-Hulk, and I realized we are very similar. In my regular everyday life, I'm very reserved. I'd rather be training or be in a book or maybe painting or doing something kind of solitary to myself, or helping people. But if you push me and if you get me upset enough, you'll see what I am capable of. And it really was a light bulb moment for me, seeing that that really did reflect who I am as a person and who I am when it comes to wrestling. And so She-Hulkamania just stemmed out of that, you know, with paying homage to Hulk Hogan as well. That kind of mashup created She-Hulkamania, and I love and adore all of my She-Hulkamaniacs. I've got some phenomenal people supporting me. I don't call them fans, I call them my support system, because I'm still nobody impressive. You know, I'm still building my legacy in wrestling, and I know I still have a lot to learn, and there are places I want to go and grow in this business. So I appreciate everybody who considers themselves, you know, a She-Hulkamaniac and supports me on this journey. So being the She-Hulk of the South, you know, because I got to rep where I'm from,
right.
is a big privilege, I think, because I'm taking something so iconic and building it into what I do.
And I'm glad you're doing that, because a lot of wrestlers nowadays, I'm just going to say this, a lot of female wrestlers especially are more TNA than anything else. In fact, they can't wrestle, they can't work. As soon as, and actually the woman who trained me, Susan Tex Green, told me that, like, she had mentioned your name, and I'm like, oh wow, oh my God, like, and I like, you really work a match, whereas everyone else nowadays, and I'm not going to name names, but I could, and I really want to name names, but they've just, I'm not going to do it because you're there, because I don't want to get you all mad. But anyway, so like, there's all these like strippers running around in a ring, and it's horrible, and it's not good entertainment, and they can't work a match. And the basis of wrestling is holds. Can you actually maneuver yourself out of a hold, a shoot move? I mean, they know nothing about that. They just know how to jump around, and that's pretty much it. And when I saw you went against that one girl, and I forgot her name, but you took her up and tossed her like a rag doll, worked her in the corner, put her in some holds, and that was old school, which is what's needed, and what UFC complements pro wrestling right now, because we're going back to the basics, and that's wonderful, and I commend you for that immensely. Now, I want to mention a couple names, please, that have come up in my head of great female wrestlers that are currently on the circuit right now. Okay? Great Cheyenne. The Great Cheyenne lives up to that reputation. Great Cheyenne. You've worked with her, correct? What's she like?
I actually have not had the opportunity to work with.
My sources were wrong. I'm firing all of you. Okay, continue. Your thoughts on the Great Cheyenne?
I actually have not had the opportunity to work with the Great Cheyenne, and a big shout out to her. I love her. She is inspirational. I actually met her at a magnificent release of wrestling taping in Tennessee. I was still newer than I am now, in the business, and, you know, I just loved her locker room demeanor. She was very reserved, very respectful. She carried herself in a way that was, it commanded that respect. And to me, as a woman, seeing that in another woman, it's very empowering, you know, so I gravitated towards that, and I'm so happy for her and all of her successes. I think she's holding like 6 or 7 titles right now.
She is, and it's well deserved. I mean, it's well deserved, and it's awesome because she's also tagging with Malachi, and they're doing a mixed tag, and that's wonderful what they're doing. Yeah. I want to mention somebody who I have great admiration for. 2 people who I have great admiration for. You didn't get a chance to work one of them, but maybe 2 of them. Nyla Rose, you did work. We were Nyla Rose, wonderful worker, very true to her Native American heritage. What was it like working her?
We had a great match. It was a good experience. You know, she brings a lot of intensity and a lot of passion into her wrestling as well, so It was a really good matchup.
Yeah, I really thought it would have been really nice because both of you are very strong characteristics, and I saw part of it, and then for some reason I didn't get to see the rest of it. But then you almost went against the person, Roxanne, Foxy Roxy, correct?
Yes, almost. Yes, due to some last-minute booking changes, we were unable to have a match. But, you know, she's another one who's out there staying true to herself and staying true to what she believes in wrestling and her training. It's really good to see these women out there representing in a positive and strong light.
And it's great.
For wrestling.
Hold for hold. It's great. You know who would be a great matchup for you, and I don't know if you had a chance to meet her yet, but it would be an awesome match between you and her, Mistress Belmont.
I love Mistress Belmont.
Mistress Belmont's the bomb. I love Mistress Belmont. Oh my God.
She is phenomenal and so sweet. We actually met at when I went up to Brooklyn, New York, at Ludus for, I don't know if it was the second or third.
It was Valkyrie. Yeah, it was Valkyrie matches.
Yeah. And she was at the show, and we were doing the meet and greet. And, being new and unfamiliar with a lot of the girls who were from the northern region, she reached out and was very warm and was very kind. And, we had a great conversation. And I later traveled to Atlantic Pro Wrestling in Massachusetts and met her brother. And he was like, Massachusetts, hello.
He's a big guy, yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, after all that time, have someone want to work with you and extend that kindness to you is so amazing. So big shout out to her. I do hope we have a matchup. Yep. And don't be upset, mistress. We're cool and we're friends and I love you, but when we get in that ring, it's all business, honey. It's all business.
Oh boy, I can't wait. So we got a couple minutes left. Real quick, you are the current women's champion for what promotion now? It's a mouthful. What promotion is it now?
That's Gouge Professional Wrestling. Home base in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Hold on, let me tell you. Gouge Pro Wrestling and Raleigh, North Carolina. That sounds like a dangerous place.
Well, it's actually gimmick-only underground grappling entertainment. You're going to find a lot of character-based wrestling in this promotion. We've got wrestling gymnast Timmy Loretton. We've got Seymour Spot, who's the beak with the physique.
Yep.
We've got bad guy Mickey Gambino. So there's a lot of people who are really about their character and making sure that over-the-top persona that everyone loves in wrestling doesn't die. So this promotion especially is close to my heart because of that, trying to stay true to being a character in sports entertainment.
Very good, very good. Now, if you could, we have a couple minutes left. We got like 1 minute left. I want you to plug, if you may, anything that you're working on currently with any of the promotions down south and around the area there.
Yeah. Well, if you guys want to keep up with me, please make sure you follow me on Facebook. That's /She-Hulk of the South. That's my fan page. I'm always updating something new, so you will always be in the know of where I am. This Saturday coming up, I will be defending my Gouge Women's Championship in Fuquay Arena at Draftline Brewery from 2 to 6 p.m. Gouge Wrestling will be there. It's going to be food trucks, good family wrestling, entertainment, and, of course, beer. So if you are in that area, please come on out. After that, on the 31st, I will be at New in Elizabeth City, North Carolina for their Halloween show going up against Sahara 7th. And then on the 6th and 7th, Premier Wrestling Federation, owned by the fantastic and memorable Steve Corino, is going to be having a double shot show. So on both of those days, you will be able to catch me She-Hulk smashing somebody. Not sure who my opponent is at this time, but there's plenty of opportunities to catch me. I will have some dates up north, and please stay tuned to my fan page for that. Still getting those 2016 dates in, so more to come.
Wonderful, Ronnie, and just don't get too mad where you might kill someone, please, because I don't want to be visiting you in jail, because I know you go all crazy nuts in there, okay? So please, just be careful when you're in that ring, okay? All right? Not so much, I don't care about the others, just you be careful not going crazy and mental, okay? All right. Now, hey, listen, Ronnie, I like you. Okay, so listen, had an awesome time on the show. You are a true champion, and keep up the good work. Like you said, Great Cheyenne, Nyla Rose, Foxy Roxy. Oh, Daddy, that's the way you're supposed to do it. That's the way you're supposed to be in pro wrestling, and you're supposed to wrestle, not fly and do all these fancy things. You're supposed to wrestle, which you do. Thank you so much, Ronnie. You are a true legend, and you are a legend in the making, I should say. Not legend yet, but legend in the making.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. You take care of yourself, sweetie.
You too. Have a great time.
She-Hulkamania is living wild. She-Hulkamania. All right. You take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And that goes it for her. And we will be back after this word from our, not sponsor, but our PSA.
Julie Lithcott-Hames, a dean of freshmen at Stanford University, has noticed a disturbing trend amongst incoming students that were brilliant and accomplished. But with each advancing year, more of them seemed incapable of taking care of themselves. According to Lithcott-Hames, parents in affluent communities work too hard to make sure their children succeed and shield them from disappointment, failure, and hardship. Didn't know kids from affluent communities know the meaning of hardship. Lithcott-Hames also writes, "We want so badly to help them by shepherding them from milestone to milestone and by shielding them from failure and pain. It can leave young adults without the strength of skill, will, and character that are needed." So my advice to those of you parents in affluent communities, don't send your kids to college. Leave it to the lower income and poorer families. Their kids seem to be more emotionally equipped for it. Can you really imagine this? The Mets are trying to derail the prophecy of Back to the Future. Yes, the New York Mets will be trying to alter the future. Released in 1989, Back to the Future 2 shows Marty McFly with his souped-up DeLorean arrived 1 day from now, October 21st, 2015, just in time for a sports flash update projected onto a building. Cubs win World Series, sweeping Miami. Way to go, Cubbies. Naturally baffling, Marty McFly, not because the Cubs won, but because he asked an old man, "Against Miami?" "Yeah, it's something, huh? Who would have thought? 100 to 1 shot. I wish I could go back to the beginning of the season and put my money on the Cubs." Reality. Cubs were far less of a long shot than in the real April 2015. Marty says again, "No, I just mean Miami." The Marlins did not join the majors until 1993, and they were not called Miami until 2012, and played in the National League, impossible for a World Series with the Cubs. Miami's logo in the film is depicted as a bat-swinging alligator. The timing is also a little bit off due to World Series games now being played earlier in 1989 than now. But if the Cubs were to sweep the Mets, they would win Game 4 on October 21st, 2015. Okay, I know that's also impossible due to the Mets are up now 2-0. Writer-director Robert Zemeckis grew up in the south side of Chicago, a White Sox fan. Bob Gale, co-writer, grew up a fan of the rival Cardinals, also the team the Cubs ousted to get this far. Bob Gale told the Daily Herald, a suburban Chicago newspaper, quote unquote, "Being a baseball fan, I thought, okay, let's come up with the most unlikely scenarios we can think of. Back in the day, seeing the movie with an audience that always go to laugh. Back to the Future 2, taking place in 1985, accurately anticipated the aforementioned video newsflash of 2015. Not quite right, most notably, were hoverboards and flying cars, which all futurists have gotten wrong since both were invented. Maybe that will come by 2045. If the Mets have anything to say about it, that might be the Cubs' next chance to win it all." And on a final story, I do apologize for not having this written out, ladies and gentlemen. This news to me is not new news to me at all. New TV season ratings show fewer young viewers watching the traditional way. Now, according to Stephen Battaglio of the Los Angeles Times, there has been an 11.8% decline in TV viewing of any kind, broadcast, cable, or DVR, in the 18 to 34 range. Ah, yes, the millennials. Viewers between 18 and 24, also millennials, or sometimes I call them millennial junior, if you're as young as 18, had an even steeper 16% drop, while women in the same range slipped 8.8%. Regular TV usage amongst viewers in the 55-plus age grew 2.2%. The baby boomers and older. As if that should be surprising. They can seem to no longer pull younger viewers away from the video they watch on their gadgets. Okay, their gadgets. I'm holding here a bit of a relic. Envision this as a smartphone, tablet, maybe even your mini type of laptop. This is the millennials' and youngers TV. Not the thing that you have in your living room or bedroom. This, not the relic you see in front of you. Just imagine, amuse me if you will, that it's a smartphone. So we're actually now at a point where our technology, our advanced software, our advanced form of communications cannot keep up with ratings on a cell phone or a smartphone, a tablet, maybe even a mini laptop? Really? It seems to me that, once again, quoting this article, figuring out the additional number of viewers who watch a show on DVR, playback, and video on demand online streaming can take weeks after a show airs. Last I recall, this is the year 2015. As a result, generation of TV executives who are used to rolling out of bed looking at overnight Nielsen ratings for a quick verdict on a new show are going to have to be more patient. They have to be more patient? Really? Once again, this is 2015. Not what I remember when I was only 14 years old in 1985. So we see that it seems to me that the millennials and younger are watching their TV shows. I see them out in public all the time, watching whatever TV show. Like I said, smartphones, tablets, maybe even one of their mini laptops. I'm not sure what it is. I'm a little bit behind the time. I'm 44. I'm a Generation X. I'm used to being in front of a TV. But what I'd like to add is, once again, 2015 is almost over. And we cannot keep up with the times on ratings. Really? Maybe it's time we need to reassess the future of television. And that's why I thank a lot of you viewers out there. I would assume a great deal of you are millennials and or younger, due to the fact that you're watching mostly on you're watching almost exclusively on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching my segment on the Rock and Horror Variety Show. My name is Drew Odgers, the anchor of the show, and I bid thee good night.
Hey. Hi, guys. Welcome to my show. Welcome to the Rock and Horror Variety Show. I'm your host, Annino, and we have a guest tonight. Her name is Susan Gora, and she's with us right now, and she is a fashion designer. And she's not only a fashion designer, but she's got nice eyes. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chris. It's very nice to be here.
Good. And from what I'm told, you're also in a movie. Which one?
East Side Zombies?
Ah.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to talk about that as well.
Okay.
And you look good.
Thank you.
All right, so now she specializes in making people look good and styling. How did your fashion career start? Let's start with the modeling first. I want to hear about the modeling.
Well, it goes even before that.
You were modeled before that?
No. Well, yeah, I started modeling when I was 10, but my family was in the fashion industry.
Were they really?
Yes, they were. Over in New London and Watch Hill. My grandfather started our family company in 1900 over on Meridian Street in New London, and we were import wholesale retailers.
That sounds fascinating. I don't know what that is, but what is that?
Well, he imported all of these gorgeous things that were fashionable for the women of that time. And
so, like, name brands back then. What would that be?
Well, at the turn of the century, it was, silk stockings and beautiful linens and Persian rugs and, whatever was fashionable for the women at that time. And then it just, depending on what decade it was, we catered to that woman.
So you've seen the evolution of fashion throughout your life, correct? And you're very savvy as to what it takes for somebody. Like, okay, so you make people look good.
I try.
Ah, yeah.
I do.
So like me going to like I can't say the name here because they'll probably sue me. So me going to your normal store, like, you know.
A men's clothing store?
No, I wouldn't even go that far. I would say like the Gentleman's Warehouse, Goodwill, and just like picking up like a T-shirt and slacks. That wouldn't be fashion, right?
That's not true. You can find a lot of cool things at Goodwill.
I'm told you. I'm told. I hear rumors about you. I'm told that you can make anyone look good in clothes,
I can.
and maybe outside of clothes. But we'll talk about that one later. No, tell me about this how this splendid gift of yours.
Which one? How I can dress a woman to look fabulous?
Woman or man, whatever.
Or men. I was in menswear for many years too. So it's really about following fashion, the styles, the trends. It's about fit, and what looks good on that particular figure.
I know, like this, you know, like fit.
Yeah, no. Kind of hip hop is not on its way out, but
It's wiggity wiggity whack. That's what it is.
in the fashion world, hip hop is kind of passé now. I hate to say it.
What?
There are no more hangy baggy pants.
What are they dressing up at Bob Dylan now? What the heck? We can't do this anymore. Now this isn't cool.
No.
Now we gotta. Do we
Yeah.
wear this at all?
Yeah,
Oh
the
my-
baseball cap is classic.
Oh, good.
You can always look, pretty
It's
fabulous.
VFW, Mystic VFW,
Right.
#1. So,
So-
I do apologize. I'm not savvy in the fashion sense. I don't know much about fashion. I thought Dickies were like a name, a fashion brand, but apparently it's not really a.
Do you know what a dickie is?
Yeah, it's those things that you get at the yeah, Dickies. It's
No, it's a fake collar that you put underneath your sweater.
Dickies, it's a clothing company.
Oh, but a dickie is a fake collar that you used to put underneath your shirt if you didn't want to wear a shirt. Yeah, that was called a dickie.
God,
Yeah. Look that one up.
I will. I might wear one. Just that.
Yeah. Well, mostly women wore
Nothing
them.
else. Why?
Women.
Why would they wear just one thing? Like,
Well, because they just wanted to create a collar around their neck without putting a whole shirt underneath them. Just finished it
they
off.
should just contact a Catholic priest and see where they got his.
Not the
little
same kind of collar. They were mostly Peter Pan collars or a turtleneck collar or something that just framed the face.
I gotcha.
And they tucked it inside their sweater
gotcha.
or whatever.
I'm just joshing. Yeah, I know these things. I know that part. So, all right. So,
So
you went to Paris to get trained to be a.
well, I studied haute couture in Paris.
Okay, please explain that because I'm not of that level.
Well, haute means high in French, and couture is really, fashion. So it's
Right.
high fashion. It's the highest fashion. There's only about 11 haute couture designers left in the world. It's a very, very small market. Maybe about 200 women left in the whole world that can afford it.
Are you one of them?
I am not.
Oh. You're still
This is
special.
the 1%.
You're still special. Yeah, it's okay.
But before all of that, my family closed up in '83.
Yeah.
Then I went on to work for Ralph Lauren in New York. And then after that, my husband and I moved out to California, and I studied fashion design at the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. And then from there, I went on to study haute couture at the Paris Fashion Institute. And that's where those two schools are really where I got my training.
That's wonderful. So like, well, what types of now would you go to runway show? Now what is a runway show? I don't understand those.
A runway show is when a company shows their line every
see.
season to the buyers, to whoever's interested.
They could just have a hanger walking, right? Or no.
It's not quite the same.
No.
Not quite as exciting.
No,
as a
not as
fashion
exciting.
show.
Yes.
No.
It's fantastic.
The models and the clothes and the music and
Where can we get tickets to these fashion shows?
well, you
It's
can't.
invitation only,
Yeah, you
isn't it?
can't get tickets to Bryant Park or the couture shows.
No.
To be in the industry,
Darn.
but you can watch them on YouTube.
I do know for a fact that you've had little shows.
I did. I had a fantastic fashion show at the Thames Club in March of 2015. I showed the spring collection. I'm repping a line out of New York called W by Worth.
Yes.
Which is a beautiful luxury line, which I bring in to New London 4 times a year, and women can buy it directly off of 7th Avenue through me by appointment. So I've brought some luxury items back into town, which we haven't had here for probably 35 years. These are all classic, elegant, timeless clothes.
You see, you know what I like about you, Susan?
Yes, Chris?
You dare to be dangerous, darling.
I'm so dangerous.
But you're also bringing back something. See, there's a lot of people that have made it, and you've made it. There's a lot of people who've made it and not come back. There was something that was taught to me when I was, I never made it, but when I thought I made it. A guy named Ron Simmons. He played for Florida State, Heisman Trophy. I think he had one Heisman, but when I was WWE and WCW, and he was on my first big show, and he said to me, I asked him, what's the best thing that you learned? He said, never forget where you came from. And what's amazing with you is, with everything that you've done, you've brought back culture in a way to New London. You've brought sophistication back, which is wonderful. And honestly, it's slowly getting there. Like this guy.
Mike Passero for mayor.
Mike Passero! Even though we only broadcast in Groton right now. Maybe New London. One day. Anyway. So, not only do you bring all this stuff back, but you're very down to earth. Whereas a lot of individuals who do come back don't really like to talk to people. And you do. And you care about what you do. And you actually care about your city.
I care about New London.
You've done a lot for it. I do believe you've done fundraisers, concerts, stuff like that, correct?
Yep. I was the first secretary and one of the board members of the Hygienic Art, and I helped my friends get that started. So that was a wonderful thing for New London, and still is, and raised a lot of money for that. And also I did quite a bit of work for New London Main Street. Yeah. I put on the first food stroll, which has been extremely successful for New London Main Street. It's a big money maker for them twice a year.
Yeah, it is.
And I work quietly behind the scenes. I just work quietly, that's all.
I know. So you need to be recognized more for what you do.
I don't care about being recognized. I just want these things done.
I know that, but it's
my name in the paper or my picture in the paper isn't going to get things done.
No, and it won't, but it'll help see what is actually happening and who's actually a mover and who's actually a shaker. And I'm not going to mention names, and this isn't a political show by any means. Vote for Passero. But I'll say one thing. New London needs a lot of assistance.
Yes.
It has a lot of great potential, and it could be a great city, and it's got a lot of great, talented people. But it needs guidance, and with that, it needs assistance.
And some leadership.
Yes, leadership.
But the missing puzzle in New London is our retail center.
Right. They keep on closing, and again, this is not supposed to be political, but they keep on closing, and then they keep on hiring the taxes, and then they mess with them up a little bit more, and then they have a horrible parking situation where, okay, park there for 5 minutes, you get a ticket. Well, that's going to take away consumers. And
well, that's why we built those 2 parking garages in the 70s. There's the Water Street parking garage, and then the one...
I like how you say garage.
Garage.
You say it all European. You got to come back to America and say it like garage.
Garage.
With a big stiff thing.
The garage.
Redneck. Sorry.
But there are 2 parking, actually 3 parking facilities downtown. There's the one on Eugene O'Neill Drive, there's the Water Street parking garage, and then there's the Governor Winthrop parking garage. So there is plenty of places to park in New London. The problem is that people don't feel safe there.
Right. Which
which is kind of ridiculous because, I mean, I'm downtown all the time,
I know.
in the day, in the evening, but you know, what they publish in the paper, you know, the homeless people, the stabbings, the shootings, I mean, this is all we hear.
Well,
This is all we hear.
if it didn't happen, then it wouldn't be in the paper.
Right, but it doesn't always have to be
I mean, they can erect a whale.
the biggest news. It's not; those aren't the biggest stories in New London.
I know that, but they can erect a whale tail all they want there. But okay, so and I'm not trying to.
We should get back to fashion, not downtown New London. Poor downtown New London.
Listen, it's got great potential, but it needs improvement and it needs leadership. And
It's leadership, and they have to be willing to support the retail center again.
They need-
Otherwise, what's going to? Why
they
will
need
people
to-
come downtown?
Right, they need to turn New London into Mystic.
No, they have to turn New London back into New London.
Well, what Mystic's now? They need to turn it into.
But New London was there first.
Yeah, but Mystic's nice. Okay, fine.
Who
we'll-
shops there?
I'll talk.
Do you go to shop in Mystic?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do
What do you
too.
buy in Mystic?
I go to Mystic Army Navy.
All right, okay. Well,
There
that's,
you go.
yeah. But it's very, very pricey over there.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, I mean, I would never shop over there. There's nothing I would buy over there. Certainly nothing in the fashion world.
You get a compass and a pocket knife at Mystic Army Navy.
Okay.
There you go.
When I need a compass
I'll
and a
get you- I'll
pocket
get-
knife,
I'll
I'll
get you
go
a
around.
pocket knife. How about that?
Yeah, that's just what I want to carry
So-
around.
Yeah.
Pocket knife.
Well, because you're New London. I don't know.
Right, no.
God forbid. Okay,
New
so
London
let's,
is safe.
let's go back to fashion because
Yes.
you and I are going to have a tiff.
No, but fashion. All right. So,
Okay, so.
all right. So after I went to work for
ahead.
Ralph Lauren and studied in LA and Paris, I came back on 7th Avenue and worked for a designer in the knitwear industry. And she couldn't stay afloat at that time. All the manufacturing was leaving New York. It was going overseas, and people were dropping off like flies on 7th Avenue. So I decided to come back to Connecticut and go back into retail here in Connecticut, which is not the same retail that I once knew when my family was in business. You have a lot of people in the industry that think of it as just a job. They don't love fashion, they don't like the public, and they don't like waiting on people.
You know what it is? It's not only with that, it's with other things too.
Yeah.
Okay, it's more with.
It's like people are, if they feel it's beneath themselves to wait on people.
It's that, and it's also. It's more they just don't care.
Right.
And I'm not trying to compare what you do to what I do. We do totally different things, but in the world of
But we have something in common.
something in common.
We
I
have a
mean,
passion
right.
for what we do.
So in pro wrestling, it's like I was talking to Ronnie earlier today, and I commend her, and I begged her to come on the show because she's really showing what our art is supposed to be like, and it is an art, like martial arts, and it's a sport too. I mean, I don't care what anyone says. If you have to do in there, so you have to do.
Well, and it's a calculated sport too, isn't it? Someone?
Well,
No.
can't say.
Oh.
So, but I mean, it's you have to know wrestling moves, wrestling holds. You have to be able to put on a match.
Right.
And now it's just TNA, and it's just been watered down. The product has been watered down, and it looks horrible. And then you have guys who are wrestlers who shouldn't be wrestlers.
Yeah.
It's like in the fashion industry, okay?
There are just some people that shouldn't be there.
And they're just watered down, and you just wonder why. And I'm gonna say it. I don't care. I'm gonna say a fashion brand. Why? Listen to me, people. Why are the Kardashians celebrities, and how do they know anything about fashion? They're selling hoodies. Oh, you're gonna get into this one.
Well, I don't particularly care for the Kardashians or that show. I think it's kind of trashy. But I have to say one thing about all of those girls is that they are extremely stylish. They know fashion.
They're selling hoodies for like $50.
Well, that's their own line. But they wear haute couture themselves.
I'm sure they do.
They wear the top designers.
Okay, but I'm trying to explain to you. What are they selling? They're not selling what they're wearing.
They're selling a look that's similar to couture, that has a high fashion look, but it has a price point that everyone can afford. You know, a hoodie in a haute couture shop would be, 20 times as expensive as just
still-
because it had a haute couture name on
How
it.
do I say this name?
Which one?
What you just said.
Haute couture?
Uh,
Well, the H is silent, and the AU is haute. Haute couture.
Haute couture.
Haute couture.
I know some stuff. Can I show you?
Sure, go
I'm
ahead.
going to show her some stuff. All right. Je suis, qu'est-ce que c'est? Fromage.
You want cheese?
Yep, every day. How about that, French people? Booyah, American style. That's right. We're equal. And we like Pastro, and we like zombies and cheese. Going back to fashion. It's been rumored, and I'm not sure if it's true or not, that I do not have a good fashion sense. Go Mets!
I like the jacket.
Matt Harvey. He went to high school with me.
Okay.
Couldn't bench well, but he was a good pitcher. That's why he's pitching in the, Go for it, Matt. You got it, buddy. Okay, sorry, going back. So it's been rumored that I don't have a good fashion sense, and
Told you I'd help you on that.
will you?
I will.
I have to ask you, as a friend,
Yes.
as a soulmate, will you
Yes.
help me?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, God. Oh,
I told you that before.
I've got goosebumps.
I like the jacket though.
Thank
Jacket's
you.
got some style.
I got it off of a homeless man.
Very nice.
It smells nice. Smells like Febreze. I just put it all everywhere.
Might just want to send it to the dry cleaner.
Smells good. You don't need to do it. Just put the Febreze on, you're good, right? Or what's your trick to make it? So this works, right? Okay, so what would I have to do? Would I have to wear like
Well, I kind of like the T-shirt with it because it kind of, dresses it down
Does
a
it?
little bit. Yeah.
So I'm not that bad.
No, you look pretty cool today.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. You got the Ray-Bans going.
these aren't Ray-Bans.
Oh,
I don't think.
they're a Ray-Ban look-alike.
I mean, they're Ray-Bans, yes.
They're Ray-Bans.
No, they're not. So let's talk about this. You're going to be acting, hon. You're going to be acting. Okay, so there's going to be this film that I'm directing, and then Lee Howard, he wrote the original screenplay, and Susan is going to be playing a zombie teacher, and this is a stretch for you because
I've
Never been a
acted.
zombie.
No, I've never acted before.
but you look gorgeous though, so who cares? That's what they do with movie
We'll see.
stars. You look good.
You're just gonna have to direct me. That's
Just
all I
as
know.
long as you know a little bit of lines there, young lady, you'll be fine.
I will. I'll practice those.
Just improvise.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just kidding, Lee. I'm just kidding. Oh God. So okay.
East Side Zombies.
East Side Zombies. So East Side Zombies. Tell me a little about this film that I'm directing.
Well, I was very pleased when you contacted me and thought that I could be in this movie, and especially when I knew it was for the children.
Yeah.
Children who are different, who stand out, who are anything but what we call what?
Normal.
Normal.
Right. And
So-
and honestly, that was originally Lee's vision. I just added on to it a little bit. Lee Howard is a tremendous man. He gave me my first start when no one else gave me the time of day. Even now, I mean, he gave me a second chance with directing this, and this really is a huge honor to take this and try and convert what he wants on film. I think your part's going to be very much needed because it talks about a lot of serious issues. And it's very comedic, and I'm looking forward to it because you get to play the wacky drama teacher. Do that thing that you do with your eyes. I love it. I love that.
Yeah, I can be pretty clear.
All right, and I do believe Linda Mariani's going to be in it. You're friends with her, right?
From childhood, of
Yeah,
course.
I like her.
Adore her.
Nice lady.
Yes, she is.
Would never want to be on the other side though, because
Yeah.
very fierce lawyer.
Yes, she is.
A very good lawyer.
Yes, she is. And she's a wonderful person.
Wonderful person, and honestly, what Lee Howard did like about 10 years ago, he managed the Times newspapers, and he really wanted to get community involved, and he just has this grand vision of that everybody brings something to the table. And in a way, that was his Camelot. Like that was 10 years ago, 6 years ago, I forgot. That's when I was writing for him. That's where he produced a lot of great writers out of here, like Rachel Harrington, Julie Wernow, who's now with, I think, the Chicago Tribune. But got a lot of their first starts. He saw a lot of potential in people that you normally wouldn't know about. And in a way, he's doing the same thing with this film. He's very much like I would compare him more with like a, I don't know, it's a cross between Charles Xavier from the X-Men and Martin Luther King. That's kind of like what Lee's like. He just sees that even though everyone's different, everyone's got potential.
And acceptance.
Yeah.
It's about acceptance too, and to stop the bullying and make children feel uncomfortable with themselves. It's so it's so difficult growing up today to begin with, and children can be very cruel. We know that, and especially at that particular age, when they don't really know how to not judge. They're very judgmental, and as we know, as young children ourselves, that can be, it can be devastating. It can be hurtful. It can really wound some children.
Yeah, it can be.
It can be very wounding, and it's just unkind. And we forget some things today. Common courtesy. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
Don't say anything. Yeah, and it's just a waste of energy to hate somebody, and
it's so much energy to be angry.
To be angry, and talking about this.
And full of hate. It's just, where is that going to bring you at the end of the day?
It won't bring you anywhere.
Right.
It won't. And just talking about this, it just reminds me of, there was a guy I really liked, and he passed away. And he had a lot of potential, and he's somebody who I really liked, and I emulated, and I loved his comedy, and it's a comparison with Robin Williams too, and I loved Robin Williams, but it was this guy, Chris Farley, and he was tortured inside to the point of I think he tried to make people laugh.
To kill his own pain.
Yeah, to stop it, and
that's why we laugh so much, to kill our pain.
That's right. Best drug in the world, people.
It's the best drug in the world.
That's right.
And Chris, you are funny.
I'm Kim Bonds. I can't say what she says, too.
No.
Oh, darn. Once this is on later, then I could get away with more stuff.
Right.
Frank, how long have we been on?
29 minutes.
I'll be damned. Darn.
Right?
Yeah.
So, are we done with the fashion, or are we still talking about
No, let's
zombie?
talk about the zombie a little
Zombie?
bit. Then we'll put them all together, and hopefully we got a show. I don't know.
Well, the zombie movie is going to be great.
It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. We have a WWE wrestler on it. His name's Mario Mancini. I'm told that a former Four Horsemen might be appearing. I guess there's going to be a big fight scene. Fields of Fire has been very generous to allow us to use their field. Church of the City, New London.
They were very generous.
And the Guard Art Center, Jeannie Siegel, wonderful person. A lot of great things. And I think Lee's vision of actually getting the community together to do something productive, I'm just kind of following him with that. And I think
and about a situation and a conversation that can be uncomfortable for people.
Yeah, I mean, and we're involving. I mean, originally Lee wanted to involve the autistic community. Then I thought, well, on my end, since I'm directing it, well, what if we involve other people, like for instance, our producer for the TV show, Kristy, she's trans. I thought, well, what a wonderful thing to involve the trans community. What a wonderful thing to involve the LGBT community. All these people that I know have never left me. Those are the most non-judgmental people you're ever going to meet. I remember at one point in my life where no one wanted to be around me, but those people stuck by me. And the people like, I'll name them. Well, Kristy Pandora, she always stuck by my side. Roxanne Mathena, Nyla Rose. They never left me. They never left my side. Constance Christoph from Out CT. All these people never left me, and they get ridiculed every day. There's an individual, I'm not going to mention names, but there's an individual down south that was denying people who are gay their rights to marry. I feel that that's wrong. Constitutionally, that's wrong, and morally and ethically, that is wrong. Who are you to say that you can't fall in love with this person, you can't like this person? You know, our society is moving slow, at a very slow pace. And it's getting better, but honestly, it's like, this should have been dealt with 40 years ago. All these problems, all these situations should have been dealt with 40 years ago. Prior to that, we should be teaching our kids in school not just to erase bullying, but to handle bullying, but to handle criticism. Not give the kids. They give kids first place trophies, everything they do.
Oh, we were just talking about this last night. How are the children ever going to learn how to deal with loss if everyone wins?
I know.
And that's part of life. You're going to lose.
I know, and it's part of understanding that there's a symmetry of, okay, all right, I have to earn this, and then whatever else, everything's handed to everyone now.
Yeah.
But that's probably another subject matter.
You're
But
right.
I think what's going to happen with this film is that my goal as a director is not only just to make a good film, but to really start a movement. And I'm thankful that you're involved. I'm thankful that Kristy's involved. I'm thankful that Linda's involved, and I'm thankful that Mario Mancini's involved. Patty Mack, Nikki,
Ilana.
Yeah, Ilana.
Love her.
I love her accent.
I do too.
And she's like, I make horrible zombie. No, you make
No.
a perfect zombie. It's a great accent. It brings different colors. It's what America should have been. It's what America should be.
A melting
It's a
pot.
big melting pot of pasta, and we're going to have it on Sunday, and it's going to be awesome. So, Susan, I will take you up on that challenge. I guess you're going to teach me about this fashion thing and how to. Okay, folks, this is the before picture, and I guess there's going to be an after picture, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yep. You're going to teach me how to do these things, right?
I will.
All right.
We can even have a show on it if you want.
I think we should because Drew needs some touching up.
So if anyone
Actually, you know what?
If anyone does want to get in contact with me, and I think they're going to put my name and phone number and email up on the screen. If anyone does want to see my collection, I bring it in 4 times a year from New York. You can email me, you can text, or you can call, and I'd be happy to set up an appointment. I also have other services called Closet Control, which I come out to the house and go through the closet. It's a great service.
You don't want to go to my house.
And then a styling session. I do custom alterations. Anything to do with the wardrobe, I can assist you.
Wonderful, Susan. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
You look gorgeous.
Thank you, so do you.
Thank you. Okay, so, well, look at the time there. All right.
Again, too close.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay, so we're probably gonna come back maybe, I don't know. But
Take a little break.
take a little break.
Yeah.
And we'll be back as soon as I can stand up again. And I will see you soon, and take care, San Diego.
Hey, I'm Arlene Wow, and I'm here in New London, Connecticut, playing a house concert with my friend Natalie Brennan, and we're about set to have a good time.
With the sun on my face, warm side cradling me. To not feel I cannot breathe, and everything is out of control. You lift me up, and you fill my lungs, and you breathe for me. Close your eyes, I was so warm when you pushed me in. There's nothing I cannot breathe. Everything is out of control. You lift me up, you fill my lungs. Won't you breathe for me? There's nothing I cannot breathe. Everything is out of control. You lift me up, you fill my lungs. Won't you breathe for me? Got a steady mind, so shaking so hard.